All right, so we're actually going to use this as our study guide. Number 1 says Ariana runs up 4 flights of stairs and then runs down 4 flights of stairs. Does this situation represent additive inverses? Explain. So additive inverses means that you have 2 quantities and that when you add them together you get 0. So in this situation she runs up 4 flights. So since she's running up 4 flights, we would say that this is a positive 4. And then she runs down 4 flights, which we would say this is a negative 4. So we would represent this as 4 plus negative 4. And if we were to solve this, we would get 0. And so we would say yes, because the integers, when added, equal 0. For number 2, it says 4 out of 9 dogs weigh less than 20 pounds. So 4 out of 9 weigh less than 20 pounds. What is the decimal equivalent? We're going to underline decimal equivalent for the number of dogs. So first I need to write 4 out of 9 as a fraction. So I'm going to write it as 4 out of 9. And then to change that, and I need to change it now to a decimal. So to change it to a decimal, I'd say the 9 would go, psh, forget you, I'm not going to carry you. And he would drop him and put him in the box. Since 9 can't go into 4, we need to add a decimal and a 0. And we go that 9 can go into 4 times. I would minus 36. I have 0 toys, I can't give away 6, so I must borrow. I have 10 toys, give away 6, I have 4. And I'm going to add another 0, bring it down. And I'm going to keep getting that 40, which is going to be 4. So this is actually going to be 0.4, and that 4 is going to be a repeating decimal. So the answer would be C. For number 3, it says, Andy is scuba diving. He starts at sea level and then descends. Now this is important because the word descends means it's a negative 10. So he's going down or negative 10 feet in a 2.5 minute period. It says, how would you represent Andy's descent as a unit rate? So if I was to first write this as a rate, I would write that he is going 10 feet, I'd write it as a complex fraction first, in 2.5 minutes. From here, I can change this actually into a division problem. This actually means 10 divided by 2.5. So I can write it just like that, 10 divided by 2.5. And when we divide, we should not deal with mixed numbers, so I need to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. So now I'm going to do 10 divided by 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. And the denominator dominates, so it's going to be 5 halves. And now I have a whole number divided by a fraction, so I'm going to change that whole number into a fraction by adding a 1 underneath. And from here, I can actually just copy, flop, and multiply. So I'm going to copy the first fraction. I'm going to flop the second fraction, and then I would just multiply. So we get 10 times 2 is 20. 1 times 5 is 5. And that 5 cannot carry that 20, so it's going to say, psh, forget you, drops him, puts him in the box, and I divide. 5 goes into 24 times. So I would say it's 4 feet per minute. But I need to go back to my question. Remember, he is descending. Descending, again, means negative, which is why I put this negative up here. So I need to go back and make sure that I put a negative 4 feet per minute. Then for number 2, using this information, I need to figure out where will he be in relation to sea level after 6 minutes. So if he's going down 4 feet every minute, after 6 minutes, I would need to do 4 times 6, which is 24, and that's, again, he's going down, so that's a negative 24 feet is where he will be. For number 4, it says, which expression is equivalent to negative 3/8 divided by negative 1/4? Again, this means negative 3/8 divided by, this would be my divided by, negative 1/4. Remember, fractions are division problems. So as you see, this is negative 8/3 divided by negative 1/4. So that's not right because it actually flipped this fraction, so that's wrong. This is 3/8 divided by 1/4, but here I have a negative and a negative, so that's not correct. Here I have 3/8 times negative 1/4. Again, I went from a negative to a positive, so this one can't be right. Then I have a negative 3/8 times negative 4, possibly we can see. And then I have a negative 8/3 times negative 4. So what I can do is I'm going to rewrite this. So I would write it as negative 3/8 divided by negative 1/4. That would be one option, but I'm not seeing that option anywhere. I thought this first option was it, but it's not because this first one's flipped, and we should not have flipped the first fraction. So then I can go ahead and I look here again. This went from a negative to two positives. Here is a positive and then a negative, and I go here. Again, remember I can copy floppy, so instead of it being negative 1/4, it could be negative 4/1, and I multiply. That would be equivalent to this, and that would be correct. And then this one, it flipped both. You can't flip both fractions. So the only one that actually is equivalent is going to be this fourth option right here. For number 5, it says Javier had $305 in his account. His bank charges a fee of $7.50 each month that a balance is below $500. If he makes no deposits or withdrawals, how much money will be at his account at the end of 3 months? So he has $305. They're going to charge him $7.50 each month because his account is less than $500. So they're going to do this. This happens now, it says right here, for 3 months. So first I need to figure out how much are they charging him. So I'm going to take that $750 and I'm going to times it by 3. So 0 times 3 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 20. Plus one more, sorry, is 22. And I count 1, 2. There is no decimal here, so I'm just going to move it 2 times. So he's going to get charged $22.50. However, they want to know, they want to know how much money is going to be left. So how much money is in his account, not how much is being charged. So I need to take what he originally had, which is $305.00, and I need to subtract it from $22.50. I have 0 minus 0 is 0. Now, I have 0 toys and give away 5. I can't do that, so I must borrow. Now, I give 10, so 10 minus 5 is 5. I'm going to line up my decimals. 4 minus 2 is 2. Again, I can't do 0 toys minus 2, so I'm going to do borrow. So that gives me $282.50. And this is what he has in his account. So it's not negative, it's positive because he has that amount in his account. And now finally, for this part, we're going to do, in the first round of a card game, Nikki scored 20 points. Then she lost 10 points on one turn and an additional 25. So we have scored would be plus. This is a plus 20 right here. Then she lost. Well, lost would be 10. So that's a minus 10. But then this one says, and an additional 25 points. So to figure out what that additional means is we have to go back to what the last statement said. So the last statement said, then she lost. So additional means that she lost an additional 25. So an additional 25 means actually she lost. Don't think additional means she earned. You have to actually go back to the previous statement to figure out, did she lose or did she gain? And the previous statement, since she lost, that means she also lost 25. Then what we're going to do is on the number line, we have to show this. So again, we don't know where she started at, so we have to start at 0. She gained, so that's plus 20. So I'm going to go from 0 to 20. That's my first arrow. My second arrow, I'm going to stay at this 20, and I'm going to go back 10 because she lost 10. So I'm going to go from 20, now minus 10 is 10. And then she lost an additional 25. So I have to go from this 10, and here's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And she now has only negative 15. She is her score. So we put that her final score is negative 15. So again, this was my plus 20. Here is a negative 10. And this one shows a negative 25, which you can see I ended at negative 15.